Hello internet, and this video has been a long time coming. So I have a bunch of books that I bought in the month of June and stuff like that. So I want to share with you guys the books that I bought, but of course this is going to be in two parts because that's how I just do things over here on this channel. So this first part is just going to be highlighting some books that have some queer themes in it, because as you know, June was Pride Month, so I figured why not just make a book haul where you know something queer is bound to happen in the course of this book. And then I'm going to have another book haul that discusses other books that I bought that may or may not have queer themes. I have no idea. I have not looked at those ones yet. I haven't done research on those ones. But these ones in this video, I know for a fact that they have some queer themes. So if you're looking for a queer book to buy, to read, then here are some recommendations, or here are some books that I bought because they were recommended to me, or I scoured online and I just found them by chance. So the first one that I got is Motor Crush Volume 1. This was a book that I picked up on chance. I had no idea that I was going to have any queer themes. It has a female-female romance in it. It is about a girl who lives in a society where motorcycle racing is really important, and she is a motorcycle racer. She has a day life and a night life. Her day life is trying to become a professional motorcyclist. She is in this huge tournament and she is a rising star, and her nightlife is illegally racing for this special accelerant for motorcycles called Crush. Except the thing is, she doesn't need this accelerant for her motorcycle, she needs it for her body. It is a special type of something for, like, sort of medicine for her, and it's about her trying to figure out her past and stuff like that. And like I said, there is a female-female romance. This is volume 1. It has very beautiful art. I just want you to see it. It's really good time. It was really surprising to me, and I ended up absolutely loving. The next book that I'm going to mention is In Other Lands by Sarah Reese Brennan. This has become a favorite. I have just been talking about this book. I'm gonna keep talking about this book. This book is fabulous. It is a favorite of mine. Like, this is one of those books that I'm like considering getting a tattoo revolving around this book, because that is how much I love this book. This book is me and I am this book. This book follows a kid named Elliot. It is a portal fantasy. So Elliot, when he is around 11, goes on a field trip with his class. He ends up getting pulled aside by this woman who shows him that there is another world, and in this other world we have fantasy creatures like mermaids, elves, harpies, dwarves, etc. And Elliot is being kind of what do you call it, they're trying to scout him so that he can join their special school, which is sort of a military academy. And there's 2 tracks at this military academy, one for warriors and one for counselors. And Elliot ends up on the counselor team, and he ends up making some good friends. Except the thing is, Elliot's like a really mean kid. Like, Elliot can be so snarky and rude and sarcastic all the time. He can be a real bastard to you, and he is so very unlikable that he is likable. I love him so much. He is also a bisexual male, so we have him having a bunch of different relationships both with males and females over the course of this book. This book covers his life from when he's 11, when he first starts school, to around 17 when he is in his last year of school. So over the course of this, we get to see him in intimate relationships with both males and females, which I really like, because you are still valid as a pansexual, as a bisexual, as whatever sexuality you have, even if you haven't had physical relationships with people. But I like having a book in which that is portrayed and shown, because I think those books are just as important as books that have only one type of romance, even though the main characters are bisexual. So they're a bisexual girl in a female-female relationship, or a bisexual girl in a male-female relationship. Like, those books are very important, and like, not to take anything away from those books either, but I like having this book where it is a character who is bisexual and having relationships with both sides of the spectrum, if you get what I mean. It's just a great book. I suggest everybody read it. It's hilarious. Elliot's great. He's so very, very unlikable that he is so lovable, and I love this book. Okay, I'm gonna be done now. So we have Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. I picked this one up, one, because it's like a Scooby-Doo sort of retelling. So like Meddling Kids, it has a dog and friends. It's Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo retelling. Except I heard that the two female main characters have a relationship, so this will be covering a female-female relationship sometime in the course of it. So yeah, that's how it's queer. I'm not quite sure what's going on other than this. I think they're trying to find out their lost companion or something. Like, there's some sort of mystery they're trying to figure out. This is an adult book, just so that you don't go around thinking, oh yeah, it's YA, it's a kid's book because it's Meddling Kids and based on Scooby-Doo. No, this is an adult book with adult topics and adult things, and I'm pretty sure like some of these characters are like hyped up on drugs, like they got drug addictions. I think from the synopsis that I read of one of them, I was like, you got some real world issues. So that is what this book is about. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to like this, because I know Darlene on Hell's Reading Castle tried it and she just wasn't in the mood for it at the time, so I don't know if that means it was gonna be good or if it was just, she's a mood reader, so like, you know, and I'm just like, Darlene, you gotta be clear. You're making me scared. You're making me scared, girl. You're making me scared. I'm hoping that I end up enjoying this book, so that's why I bought it. Next, we have The Star Host by F.T. Lukens. This is a sci-fi book. It has a male-male romance. I'm not quite sure what happens in the course of this book. I think it's like something with chosen ones, like star hosts or like some sort of special legend thing, and then our main characters are gonna find out that star hosts are real or something like that. I don't know, I bought it because it had a male-male romance and it was sci-fi, and I was like, oh, why not? Next, we have Romeo and or Juliet. This is one I'm not quite sure on, but it's one that I'm highly suspecting has queer themes. So this is a choose your own adventure for Romeo and Juliet, so I'm pretty sure like some of these paths that you can choose are gonna be a little more queer than others. I mean, like, it's Shakespeare, it's already queer, so you know, we're gonna go with it. But I bought this and it's cool and I like it, and the art reminds me of what's her face, Noelle Stevenson. And I know that she had queer themes in her graphic novels and the graphic novels she works with, so I'm highly suspecting that this has some sort of queer theme, which is why I'm adding it in this half of my book haul. Next, we have Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. This one has a queer representation in it. It is not in the main focus of the story. This main story follows this girl, and she works at a restaurant that she kind of helped develop, and she wants to start her own restaurant, and she has a few issues. She ends up finding out there's a house spirit, and this house spirit gives her a special mushroom that lets her go back in time and rewrite a wrong, and she ends up stealing a bunch of mushrooms so that she can kind of rewrite the world around her to be the most perfect life she's ever lived, which is kind of dangerous. We have the two restaurant owners, the restaurant owner who owns the restaurant she's currently working at. It has a male-male relationship, and they have a kid, and then there is a friend of this main character who I suspect is questioning. So I'm adding it because it has queer themes in it, even if that's not the prominent story and it is not about a queer story. It's still represented in the book, and I think that is just as valid and just as important as it being the main focus of a story. So Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh is a book about necromancy, if I'm not mistaken, and it has a female-female relationship, and that's all I know about it. I actually, funny story about this book, I ordered this book, it never showed up, so I complained to Amazon and I was like, bitch, where my book? And they're like, sorry, we're gonna refund you your money. And then like a week later, I got the book, and that was like after 3 weeks of it not arriving by the time, like the last day of the deadline when it was supposed to arrive. 3 weeks after that, I finally got my book. So this book was sort of for free, which I'm okay with, okay? Like, I was paying for it, but you didn't show up on time, so I got it for free instead. So I'm good with that. But that's all I know about this book is necromancy and female-female relationship. Then we have Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. This is a female-female relationship. It's contemporary. I don't know anything other than that. I have read We Are Okay by Nina LaCour, which also had some female-female relationship. I'm hoping this one is fluffier than We Are Okay, because like I liked We Are Okay, and it was kind of like a more grief sort of story. It wasn't necessarily dark, but it had to deal a lot more with grief, and like that was fine. I wasn't into that one, so I'm hoping this one will be like fluffier and I might enjoy more time with it. If it's not, that's also okay, but I bought it because it had female-female relationship and I know a lot of people talk about it, so that's why I got it. And it was like $5, so you know, it never hurts. And then the last two books here are both by Sean David Hutcherson, and that is We Are the Ants in paperback and At the Edge of the Universe in paperback. I already own both of these books in hardback. However, I rebought them in paperback because, as you guys may know, Darlene from Howl's Reading Castle and Yasmin from Yasmin's Bookshelf and myself are holding a few months long readathon surrounding Sean David Hutcherson's books, and this month's is At the Edge of the Universe, so I bought these so that I could annotate. I don't traditionally annotate, but I figured why not attempt to do it. So I attempted it in We Are the Ants, and I'm going to try again and At the Edge of the Universe. I don't think I'm ever going to be an annotating type person, but it always is sort of interesting for like to try it once or twice. So I'm gonna try it with these books, so that is why I bought these in paperbacks. It was for annotating purposes. This has a male-male relationship. It is with this is about a boy who gets kidnapped by aliens a lot, and he ends up finding out the world only has 144 days left before it like gets destroyed somehow, and so he's contemplating whether or not to push the button to save the world. And like it talks about a bunch of mental health issues, suicide, assaults, like abuse, stuff like that. Like we have some heavy topics. It's really, really done well. And then At the Edge of the Universe is about a boy whose boyfriend disappeared and is erased from the existence of the universe, and he is the only one who can remember him, and it's all about him trying to figure out where his boyfriend is, where his boyfriend has gone, and then also about how the universe is constantly shrinking every day. This has again a lot of sort of topics of like family relationships, mental health, stuff like that. Also, there is a character in this that is portrayed as gender non-conforming, so there is other queer rep other than just the male-male romance depicted in this book. Yeah, this clip is gonna feel off because I forgot about a book that I wanted to talk about because it was on another shelf, and that is Witch Boy. And this book has tons of queer themes. It is about this kid right here. He comes from a family that does magic and shapeshifts, except magic is usually for the women and shapeshifting is for the boys, and he has magic, and he keeps trying to tell his family that he wants to be a witch, but they're like, no, you a boy. So this talks a lot about gender issues and gender norms and how dangerous it can be to push on a kid, you can only do this because you are such and such. So it has a lot of queer themes, and it discusses a lot of queer themes. So except this one of course is like middle grade, so it's not like about sexuality so much as gender arguments, which is still valid. So yeah, it's kind of being kind of pushed in here because, like I said, I forgot. Wow, what is this, Chinoa, you say? I say, I forgot another book I bought that had queer themes in it. So insert clip here. This is Snot Girl Volume 2. This main character, Lottie, she's a fashion blogger. It's about her having really bad allergies, and she takes some medicine. I'm pretty sure the medicine's making her a little crazy, but in the course of this, we have her, and she shows a preference for the other girl depicted here on the cover. So Lottie is bisexual or pansexual, or at least attracted to both males and females. I'm not quite sure, they never say like and give a label to it, but you know what, she was having the hots for the girl, so it counts, because it counts. All right, that's it. This is a queer book that I bought, that I forgot that I bought, because my life is a mess and I'm a mess. So here we go. So that is it for books that I bought that I know for a fact probably have some sort of queer representation in them. If you know of others that you think people should really go and invest some time into, comment down below so that like we can have a little section, a little video with comments about like good queer books or books with queer representation in them. So tell me some if like there's some that you think I would like, because you know I'm always willing to spend my money on some books. Other than that, that is it. So click all those buttons down below, and goodbye, internet.